Today's the big day. At least it is for my lovely older sister Emerald, who's getting ready to walk down the aisle and marry her fiance Dylan. I'll be the one walking her down the aisle since our father passed away before they got engaged. Honestly, though, I think I speak for the whole family when I say it's a shock to see Emerald getting married. I never thought it would happen, as before she met Dylan, she was a total nervous wreck and could barely talk to people. Now she's the opposite, but I guess meeting the right person helped her gain the confidence she needed, and I'm truly happy for her. Like Emerald, I was in the middle of getting into my wedding attire when she called me. I started mumbling stuff over the phone, and it sounded like she was having second thoughts, which most people have before getting married. I mean, it wouldn't be a wedding without the bride and groom freaking out a little. She asked me to show up early, and I agreed, since I already planned to show up early and help with any of the last-minute tasks that needed doing. When I arrived, I noticed she hadn't even started getting ready for the wedding. I asked her what was going on. I was hoping to help calm her down and find a way to relieve the stress she was under, but then things got a bit strange when she started explaining the feeling she had inside. She said it was like a voice telling her something was wrong, but every time she focused on it, something tried to bury it inside her head. Things went from strange to crazy when Emerald said that she was a practicing witch and Dylan was a warlock. She said that was how they met, and that at first she didn't feel anything for him. Then one day she randomly couldn't live without him, so she believes he cast some sort of high-level spell on her to make her fall in love with him, one she couldn't dispel while under his influence. I sat there silently for a minute before I burst out laughing. I held my side and told her she got me, that I almost believed she was losing it. When I stopped laughing, I noticed she was just staring at me and not laughing along. It seemed so serious, and I started to think she was actually having a mental breakdown. I take a deep breath and apologize. Ask her what I can do to help her, figuring that going along with this might make her happy and thus calm her down. That's when she told me she was going to swap bodies with me, which made me a bit nervous. She told me that once in my body, she'll be unaffected by the spell and be able to think clearly. After that, she'd be able to use her magic to undo the spells placed on her body. It all sounded beyond crazy, but I agreed, not thinking it was real. Emerald had me follow her into the room she'd been using to get ready for the wedding and pulled out this very old-looking book. She had me sit down as she began flipping through the pages of the book. It took her a minute to find what she was looking for, but once she did, she began speaking in a strange language, each word completely foreign to me. As her lips closed on the last word, I suddenly blacked out. When I woke back up, I saw myself standing in front of me. While I was freaking out internally, Emerald, now in my body, was telling me that she was right and she had to go home and grab something but would be back as soon as possible. She then left me standing there, alone, quite confused. After standing there for a few minutes, two women came into the room and told me it was time to get ready for the wedding. I raised an eyebrow and asked them what they were talking about. I had already gotten ready for the wedding. They both let out a laugh and told me I was nowhere near ready, that I needed to get my hair done, get into the dress, and then do my makeup. I let out an awkward laugh thinking that they were acting as crazy as my sister, but then it all hit me. She was in my body and had just run off, which means I'm currently in her body. I looked down at myself and noticed two very noticeable feminine features protruding from my chest. So not only was my sister not crazy, she was right. She is a witch. For some reason, I can't stop thinking about Dylan. I know I've never had feelings for him, and I've only met the guy twice, yet thinking about him makes my heart skip a few beats and it's driving my whole body crazy. I hope Emerald comes back quickly. I don't think I can fight these feelings for him for long. Here I am, getting ready for my sister's wedding. The only problem is that I'm doing it as her. She swapped our bodies, then ran off somewhere, leaving me stuck inside her cursed body, bound to marry a warlock named Dylan, until she comes back and breaks the spell. So I sat there, letting two women who I don't know get me ready for the wedding. They removed the clothes I had been wearing, then came out with a beautiful wedding dress. My heart fluttered as I imagined Dylan holding me tightly while I wore it. After thinking that, I let out an awkward laugh, as the last thing I actually want to wear is a wedding dress, but the spell was making me love it and giving me this desire to continue getting ready just for Dylan. After I was in the dress, they didn't even give me a moment to look at it before I was seated so they could work on my hair and makeup. This part took ages, as they did so many little things, but I guess this is what a bride goes through on her wedding day. As embarrassing as it is, I passed the time thinking about Dylan and how happy he was going to be to see me like this. Well, I guess he'll be happy to see Emerald, since I'm currently in her body. After they finished, each of the women took one of my hands and helped me up. They then led me over to a mirror so I could check myself out, seeing myself standing there in such an elegant dress, with my hair done up, with the veil flowing off of it, and my face looking flawless from the makeup nearly had me in tears. Luckily, I didn't ruin all the hard work they went through making me look this good. As I stood there smiling at myself, my mother came walking in, and I turned to face her. It took her less than a second of looking at me to tell me I was the most beautiful thing she'd ever seen. That made me feel so good, and I asked her if she thought Dylan would love it. She laughed and said he'd be crazy not to. She then hugged me tightly for a minute before letting go and looking quite worried. I asked her what's wrong, and she begins telling me that my brother is nowhere to be found. I tried calling him, but when he answered, he said something about grabbing some ingredients and then hung up. I was going to tell my mother that my brother, which is currently emerald in my body, was off getting what she needed to break the spell on her body, which I'm currently in, but I found myself unable to tell her about it. Instead, I told her it was just fine, that we should just prepare for the wedding and start if he doesn't show up on time. My mother nodded and said if that's what I wanted, then it would be done. I nod and tell her that I don't want to spend another moment as Dylan's fiancée. I want to be his wife. An hour passed after that, and Emerald was nowhere to be seen, and at that point I couldn't hold it off anymore. I had to marry Dylan, so we started the wedding and I walked down the aisle with my mother instead of Emerald. Once I reached the altar, Dylan moved the veil out of my face and then took my hands in his. The priest began the ceremony as Dylan and I stared into each other's eyes. He said his vows and I said mine, despite not actually preparing or practicing any. After that, we both said I do and slipped a ring onto the other's finger. The priest pronounced us husband and wife and told us to kiss. Dylan leaned over and kissed me, and I felt something inside my mind click, almost like something was locking. After a very long, very romantic kiss, Dylan removed his lips from mine and smiled. I see your sister's made you take her place. That's okay. I still have full control over that vessel. It doesn't matter who's inside, he said as he stared into my eyes. My heart dropped, but all I could do was smile at him, then wrap my arms around his neck and tell him how much I loved him. After doing so, the two of us walked down the aisle together, ready to head off to the reception. As we left the main hall, I saw my brother Peridot standing there looking quite shocked. He had several strange things in his hand, along with an old-looking book. I waved at him as we passed by, and Dylan pulled me closer and told Peridot that he was too late. After that, we went off to have some fun. There was a lot of music and dancing, tons of pictures being taken, lots of talking to our friends and family, and of course, a nice big tasty cake that we picked out. At our fill of that, Dylan and I got into the limo, and we went off to our honeymoon. And as we drove off, the part of me that knew and cared that I wasn't actually my sister faded away. And by the time we reached the hotel room, I was a happy and carefree wife for the love of my life. After a very fun night together, I woke up early the next morning to make him breakfast. As I was doing so, I received a message from my brother. It was quite strange and didn't make sense, but he started by apologizing. My guess was that his apology was for missing my wedding, but then he went on about some strange spell and how it becomes permanent once the person is married. He then went on to say that I was trapped by Dylan, but I didn't feel trapped, I felt happy and in love. I love my husband with all my heart, and I'd do anything for him. I took my phone and texted Peridot back, telling him everything was all good and there was no need for him to work. He responded by sending a sad face emoji, and then a message telling me to enjoy my new life, which I planned to do. Hello there, did you like the video? If you did, leave a like or even a comment. Comments are great and I love chatting with you. Anyway, check out my Patreon and DeviantArt pages if you haven't already. Both support my work and it would mean a lot to me if you check them out. Well, that's it. Thanks for listening, I hope you all have the best day ever.